Hello, my class, my family, my football family. Hope everybody's well, staying safe and out of trouble. Week 8 of the NFL. I ended up locking 4 of the college games yesterday. They were just, when I really go through them and think about them, they're even, you get that feel and you go, no, that's a winner. I got a ton of college plays, but 4 locks. I don't know if I'm going to lock anything in the pros. I just am not feeling it. There's a couple maybes, but I don't know. I have to get it. Let's quickly go through the line. Arizona tonight, laying 6.5, 50.5. Buffalo minus 13, 48.5. Atlanta minus 3, 47. Philly minus 3, 48. Indy minus 2, 2.5, 50. The Rams minus 14.5, 48, I think. Cincinnati minus 10.5, 43. Cleveland 3.5, 42.5. Frisco minus 4, 39.5. Seattle minus 3, 3.5, it looks like, 44.5. San Diego minus 5.5, 49. Denver minus 3, 44.5. Tampa Bay minus 5.5, 50.5. Dallas minus 1.5, 55. Kansas City minus 9.5, 52. So those are your spreads as of 10 minutes ago on Vegas scores or Vegas Insider, which gives you a list of 7 or 8 sites. So I'm picking the pretty basic line of the average. So there's a 6, there's a 6.5, there's a 7. If there's a lot of 6s, I go 6. If there's a lot of 7s, I'll go 7. So it's really obviously arbitrary. A half point either way is very, you're going to get that anyway. And checking for injuries, I think it's the normal. Keep an eye on Cleveland. Their whole team's injured. They're kind of limited in practice, whatever that means. They're all questionable, whatever that means. So we'll see. Pittsburgh, Roethlisberger's questionable also with a pec. So everybody has injuries. That's what you have to understand. Green Bay's got COVID issues tonight. Miami, they're just bad. Tennessee, Indy, LA. Nothing major that I'm seeing in injuries on these other teams. Let's go to the head-to-head. Now, again, the head-to-head's only in the division, so it's Green Bay, Arizona is not a head-to-head. They don't play each other every couple of years, but Miami, Buffalo, though, there's a head-to-head. They play each other twice a year. So let's look at those numbers. Buffalo's won the last 6, and quite convincingly. This is a big number, lane 13. You can tease it down to 7. You just hope you get lucky and Buffalo, beats them again. Now, Buffalo's off of a loss and off of a bye, so you never know. Atlanta, lane 3 to Carolina. Atlanta's won 6 of the last 7, so I think once last year Carolina won, but normally Atlanta wins this matchup, so keep that in mind. Again, McCaffrey's out, nothing new, but I don't know, I've never seen a guy, he missed all last year and all of this year. He played a game or 2, pulled his hamstring. You thought they took his leg off. He's always out. Just terrible. Philly, Detroit, Tennessee, Indy. Tennessee's won 3 of the last 4. So again, they won a couple. Indy won, Tennessee won. They're random. I mean, it seems like the home team wins a lot. So you got a 2.5 here. So you could take Tennessee and 8.5. But Tennessee does well against Indy. Pitt and Cleveland now. Cleveland's won the last 2 after Pitt had dominated. So as you can see, Cleveland's getting better and they're winning. So they won the last two. You just assume Baker. Oh my God. Mayfield's playing. You feel Roethlisberger's playing at this point. Until you hear it differently, you just assume they're playing. This is a game you probably don't bet till Sunday morning. There's no advantage. The line's not going anywhere. Cleveland's 3.5 with all the injuries. It'll be 3.5. If they say Mayfield's out and Beckham's out and Landry's out and all these Chubb and Hunt and they're all out, the line might drop to 2, but then you got to see if Roethlisberger's playing. So if he's out, the line jumps to 6. That's all I have head-to-head. Tampa, New Orleans is pretty vanilla. I think New Orleans was winning, and then Brady comes along, and guess who? I know New Orleans won the first 2 regular season games, and then Brady won the championship game. But again, there's no Breeze, so a lot of New Orleans stats are Breeze stats that you got to take with the caution. Dallas Mini and the Giants KC. So as of now, there's no, we know it clears out for Kansas City. We know the Giants, Barkley's out. A couple of the wide receivers are out. They killed Carolina last week, so I don't know what you take out of that. So let's go down the list. So we'll start with tonight. Arizona, 6.5, Green Bay. You've got all the COVID receivers on Green Bay. So what does that mean? I don't know what it means. They'll throw to the backs. They'll throw to the tight ends. See, I always look at these games. If Aaron Rodgers is the one with COVID, then I don't bet Green Bay. You lose Adams. Granted, that hurts, but he was out last year too, and he had missed some time, and they were fine. The key is Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers is playing, it's like Kyler Murray. No matter what, if Kyler Murray is healthy, they got a lot of receivers. If Baker Mayfield's healthy, if Roethlisberger, the key's the quarterback. And most of these games, look at Barkley's out on the Giants, doesn't really affect anything. Hunt and Chubb were out for Cleveland, probably hurt him, but the backup came in from Louisiana Lafayette and he lit it up. So what I try to say is these guys are pros. Most guys most linemen are interchangeable. Receivers are pro receivers that are still going to catch the ball and run routes. They're not, stupid. The key is the quarterback. You can't replace the quarterback very easily, especially if it's a Brady or Rodgers. These better quarterbacks, Mahomes, not going to find. You can't just say it doesn't matter. You can only say it to the linemen because the defensive linemen are rotating 10 guys anyway. So you rotate 9 or 8, it doesn't matter. So most of this doesn't, every team's got 100 injuries. They're all questionable unless they're out. And if they're questionable, most of these guys, this is their life. This is what they get paid for. They don't want to sit out because they're scared they get replaced and it's going to be Lou Gehrig and then they'll be out. So these guys will take the shot and play. So a lot of the questionables are playing. You just don't know how effective they're going to be. So back to the Arizona Green Bay. So Arizona, we know is healthy. We know Arizona's terrible at home. Better this year, but they're terrible at home. Green Bay, you can get Green Bay in 12.5. Oh my God, it just seems like such a high number. In Arizona, they have a good defense. I'll give them that, but against Aaron Rodgers, he's going to score. It'd be better with that. If I had Adams and the others, the spread would have been 3 or 4, and I would have loved Green Bay in 9 and 10. That would have been a very strong play. The question is, do you take Green Bay in 12.5, or do you go over 44.5? So if you think Rodgers is going to be able to score with who he has, or he'll hit the running backs, usually what tends to happen is they'll play 2 tight ends and then 2 or 3 running backs, and they'll put a running back in it. Wide receiver, and off they go. I mean, Jones catches the ball out of the backfield. The tight ends can certainly catch. They have the lower receivers who aren't great, but they can catch the ball. They're not going to not run a route and not catch the ball. It's their opportunity. So I think as long as Rodgers plays, I think Green Bay. Then you just got to look: is the 50 achievable? Are they gonna? Let's do a number. So Arizona 27. Can Green Bay get to 20? It gives you 47 over under of 50.5. You tease it to 44.5. That's 24-20. Now, Arizona in a game is worth, I'd say 30 points. So does Green Bay get you to 14 or, 17? And I think you got to think, yeah, I mean, as long as Aaron Rodgers is there, he'll figure out a way to get some points. I mean, he looked shitty against New Orleans in the first game. I don't think Arizona's defense is as good as New Orleans is when they're on. So I don't know. I look at probably the over. I don't know. I don't love Arizona even in this game for some reason. It's still looking to, it's still Aaron Rodgers and still Arizona, Green Bay. And I think somehow Green Bay stays in the game. Does Arizona win it? Probably they win it because of if the receivers are playing. I think it's a toss up. Initially it's a dog, and then how much do you want to do on the injury? So I think this game's an over. I think Arizona can put up 30 points, and I think Green Bay will somehow get 20. It's just Rodgers being Rodgers. I don't think Arizona has the defense that's going to stop them that strongly. So I guess tonight I'd probably play the over 44.5 when you're dealing with an Arizona and when you're dealing with those two quarterbacks. Usually you want to go over in the game when it's a 50. If it's a 56 or 7, you don't. And you just hope it's not a KC game where they're scoring 3 points. So that's what I look at. It's a tough call. Green Bay at 12.5 is tempting with Rodgers against anybody. But if it's not a Thursday night game, you probably don't play it on the normal slate. But if you're looking for something, then probably over and just hope Rodgers lights it up a little, and Arizona will. Buffalo 13 over Miami, 48.5. Buff 6. Buffalo coming off of a loss to Tennessee and a bye. Does the bye screw up the timing? Sometimes. Miami's defense is gone. So when I look at this game, I got Miami as a Z and I got Buffalo as an A. Lane 13, I cut it to 7. Yeah, probably. I think they'll win by at least 7, probably more. Buffalo has a tendency to get rolling, and Buffalo owns Miami. So this is a Buffalo play. Over under 48, I think Buffalo scores a lot, but I don't think Miami does. I don't, Tug with his 5-yard passes, and Buffalo will get after him. They shut him out in the first meeting. Do they get overconfident? This is what happens. They go, oh, well, we won 34-0. We'll do the same thing. But I don't like Miami as coach. I don't like Tagliabue. There's not a whole lot. Their defense I liked is not very strong. So I just think Buffalo is pissed off after the loss and plays a strong game and gets probably, let's say 31-7 or something like that. Atlanta 3 over Carolina. Carolina is an under team, but their defense is beginning to get weak. What was the score last week? So they lose 25-3 to the Giants. You're putting up 3 points on the Giants. What do they see in Darnold that they think he's good? I mean, I go back to the Rose Bowl game when Ohio State beat them 26-7. And I go, if you can't score in Ohio State in college, how the hell are you going to score in the pros? That's where I get my basis on. And here he comes. He throws 3 picks last week. 3 points on the Giants. The Giants are, they're a W. They're a lousy team. And now here's Atlanta, who was lousy. He seems to be getting a little bit better, but they're again beating the Jets and they're beating, weak teams. Who did Atlanta beat last week? They beat nobody. Oh, they beat. Where is Atlanta? Did they get a bye already? No, they beat Miami. Okay, so they played Miami 1 week. And they played They must have had the bye before. Oh, okay. So Atlanta's beat the Jets 27-20, and they beat Miami 30. I love these schedules. You're going to play the Jets, and you're going to play You're going to play all the weak teams. Maybe they'll throw in a Houston on there and a Lions and make it really weak. So they have won 2 games against 2 very bad teams. So it's extremely difficult to get excited about Atlanta now. Beating Miami. So here they are, 3 over Carolina. They couldn't beat the Jets or Miami by more than 7. So I think Carolina is a live dog here. Atlanta has won 6 of the last 7, as I said, but that doesn't mean blowouts. And if you got +9, Atlanta can win the game by 3. You still get it. Atlanta's a bad home favorite. Carolina's a good road dog, it looks like, based on my trends. So I think if you wanted to, this is Carolina 9. I think Atlanta's not going to blow them out. And, they're getting healthy, beating those weak teams. Carolina's an under team. I don't see them. Their defense is okay. Yeah, they were an under last week, 25-3. So they're still an under. So look for a low scoring game, I think. Just because Darnold, too many interceptions. And now you can see Darnold trying to run. He thinks he's a runner. He'll go back, and then he'll run out the end for 10 yards. And it's like, okay, this guy's terrible. That's a sign of a bad quarterback when, how many times do you see Brady, Aaron Rodgers, run? Even Russell Wilson's, Mahomes, they're not really running. They might run if it's 3rd and 5 and they can get the 6 for the first down, and then they get down really quickly. But Darnold's actually rolling out and then looking downfield and then running. So that's you want the receivers catching the ball. You don't want to be a running quarterback. Shady Who, the last 6 games, the Bills have beat the Dolphins by an average of 20. Well, there you go. And I can see you're a Buffalo fan. So, yeah, they're laying 13, which I think is fairly no. Tagliabue sucks, so they're not going to score a lot. And I just think Buffalo is really on foot. They're really pissed about losing to Tennessee, especially the way they lost. But I think they'll be determined, and they got the bye, which you never know how teams react because you like to be in it's like taking a vacation and you come back to work and you're tired and you got to get back into the groove. So it might affect them in the early on, but we'll see what happens there. Philly 3 over Detroit. Oh my God. The trend here is bet against Detroit as a home dog, bet against Detroit 85%. Even against the Rams last week, they still lost. They had to do 2 fake punts and an onside kick to lose by 9. So what are they emotionally spent now? They only lost by 9 to the Rams. Philly, how do you trust Philly in this spot? Running a college offense and a guy who can't hit the broadside of a barn and Hurst. He was so bad. Tagliabue beat him out. Detroit, again, no, they're a Z team. Philly's like an even team, so they score 24-25 and they give up 24-25. I can't trust Philly. I don't like this line. I don't like Philly lane 3. Why isn't Detroit favored? I know Detroit's terrible, but I don't see how Philly can be favored on the road. The only play here looks like it's take the under 48-54. I doubt you'll get a lot of scoring. But again, who knows with the Lions? They could score. The trend is Philadelphia because you're betting against the Lions, not that Philly's this great road favorite. So it's just a shitty game. These Z team games are just, if they were playing against a strong offense, I would be all up for it, like Cincinnati laying the 3. But here, Philadelphia laying the 3, I can't, I don't know what to do. Philly will probably win the game just because of what it is. Indy 2.5 over Tennessee, over under 50.5. Both teams I now have are B teams, so they've gotten better. Indy winning at Frisco in the rain. Tennessee blown out KC and beating Buffalo. and you're making Tennessee. I have Tennessee -4. Why in the hell is Indy favored in this game? I know it started -1 Tennessee. The line's going on Indy now -2.5. I can get Tennessee in 8.5. I love that bet. Tennessee, as I said, won 3 of the last 4. I don't love Carson Wentz and the way Tennessee's playing with Henry. Obviously, their defense is getting better. They held Kansas City to 3 points. So this is where you can't look at the whole season's numbers. You got to start looking, beat Buffalo, beat Kansas City. They lost to the Jets. And what I notice is when teams lose to the Jets or lose to the Lions, a good team, a decent team, a team like Tennessee, they get pissed off, and then all of a sudden they go on the run. So they get embarrassed. We lost to the Jets, and yes, I had them. I locked them, and they lost. I couldn't believe it. And now they killed, I think, Jacksonville, and they beat Buffalo, and now they killed Kansas City. So I got Tennessee in 8.5. That's a strong dog. That's what I really look for. Especially in the NFL, where the games tend to be close, but this game should be. I got 24-23, and I don't know who wins. My guess is Tennessee because of the running back. It's just too much. Ryan, 31-17 Cardinals, short week on the road with Adams out. I think the Packers struggling. I agree, except for Aaron Rodgers. I do think the Cardinals, well, they should win, but don't sell Green Bay short as long as Aaron Rodgers is playing. That's all. Yeah, I agree. 48. I go over the 5th. You tease it down to 44. I think that gets to an over. I'm just not sure that you can just ignore that Aaron Rodgers will be playing. He'll find a way to make the game close. That's the only concern I would have. If he was the one with COVID and Adams was playing, I'd be all over Arizona. But my learn is as long as Joe Montana played and as long as, the superstar plays, you got to respect that. So if Lawrence Taylor played and Sims was out, they won the Super Bowl. So the key is, the key players, the heart of the team, Rodgers playing, then they have a chance. But I agree. I think the score is about right, and I think Arizona should win, but be careful of Rodgers. That's the lesson learned here. LA 14.5 over Houston. So LA's riding good. They get the Lions, they get Houston. 14.5. They went and pounded Seattle. Their only loss to Arizona, which is perfect. LA must win this game. Even though they had to win last week, they had the Lions, and the Lions are doing all those trick plays. I think that taught them a lesson. Here they're laying 14.5. You can go 8.5. At least you're under 10. Last week it was 15.5, 16. You still had to lay 10. They don't win by 10 in the pros very often when they're laying 16. When they're laying 3, you'll get the big, like Cincinnati was a dog and blows out Baltimore. That's when you get the big score, but it's very unusual, the big -20. Arizona did it last week, but it's very unusual for that, which shows you how bad Houston is. So here's 14.5. Mills sucks. So somehow he had a good game against New England. I don't think the Rams have a problem on the road. The trends are all Rams. Over under 48. Do you go under? You could go under because Houston, this will probably be 31-0. My guess. I think I like it laying the 8.5. I think you could go under 56. I think it's a 48 or 46, something like that. So you go under 52, 58, I think, absolutely. But I think here the Rams -8.5 and a must-win game. And again, if Arizona wins tonight, then the Rams are like 2 games out. So if Arizona wins, the Rams are a much stronger play because they can't, not that they're going to lose to Houston, but they've got to keep pace with Arizona. They don't want to go in as a wild card. They want to be the 1 seed and have home field, but Arizona's got it, and or Green Bay. So the Rams must win to stay in the race. So they won't be flat. They maybe were a little flat against the Lions, but definitely like LA here. Cincinnati 10.5 over the Jet. This is the fourth Z team, Miami, Detroit, Houston, and now the Jets. What kind of league is this? 4 Z teams. So here come the Jets. Joe Flacco quarterbacking. Cincinnati laying 10.5, over under 43. Cincinnati showing a strong defense. They're showing, I love Burrow and Chase, and the tight ends getting involved. Mixon's running. Now, it's hard to, you got to okay, forget the Baltimore game. It's over, but they did put up 40 on them. They did blow out the Lions. So it's hard to now they're rolling. And I don't see how Flacco's going to come in. And I never liked him when he played anyway. So I like Cincinnati minus 4.5. I know it's not a great teaser line. You want under 3. But absolutely Cincinnati minus 4.5. You got to love that one. The Jets just, not only don't they have an offense, they don't have a defense. They're just a lousy team. And it's funny as I look on the injury list and I go, oh, well, the Cleveland, Chubb, Hunt. You get to the Jets, and I go, I don't know anybody on the is that a good injury? Is that a bad injury? They all are terrible. Their talent level is so bad. I would take Georgia Bulldogs over the Jets. If they played, I'd lay 7, and they'd shut them out. Georgia would shut out the Jets. Todd, wishing for another Hail Mary tonight, but don't think it's enough. Green Bay plus 13. I just find that Rodgers will do it. They'll come out with a plan. I know Adams is out, and I know he's a stud, but they'll have some wide receivers or 3 tight ends or something like that. They'll do something like that. It's what they do in the NFL when the receivers are injured. And they still have other receivers. I know a couple are out, but they'll still find a way. And as long as you got Rodgers, they might just run the ball. They might run the ball with Adams with what's his name? Jones. They might run Jones 50 times tonight. They might just run and run and run and hit the tight end and play an Army or a Navy type of game, figuring we can't throw it, but you still have Rodgers, so he'll find a way. So don't be surprised. Ryan, I like Pittsburgh plus 9.5 off a bye. I think they play loose and actually win the game. Roethlisberger's questionable, and then you got the whole Cleveland team questionable. If the whole Cleveland team plays, Cleveland has won the last 2, so there's really not anything there. Yeah, I mean, I like Pitt plus the 9.5 just because, Cleveland's so banged up. Even if they played, they all played last week and got hurt. Landry got hurt again. Beckham got hurt again. Mayfield didn't even play. I don't mind their backup quarterback, who I always have a problem struggling when I need to think of the backup's name. But he did win the Super Bowl, so let's keep that in mind. Yeah, I think it's almost an under game because I think Pitt runs Najee Harris 100 times. You got Juju Smith-Schuster out. Yes, thank you, Ryan. Keenum won the Super Bowl, so he's not terrible. It's not, but I just think that, Pitt 9.5. Yeah, I mean, I'm just getting to that game now. But anyway, just to close out Cincy, absolutely Cincy laying the 4.5. I mean, they should win 30. They should get in the 30s easy against this defense. And again, they have to win. Baltimore, it's them and Baltimore and Cleveland. So they're in a tough division. They can't afford to lose. So this is the beauty when the teams start losing a little, then they need to win for the races, and you keep that going. So Cincinnati off the Baltimore one, I don't think they're going to be flat at all. Not with Burrow and Chase. As long as they're there and they're healthy, look out. It's LSU all over again. Pitt, Cleveland 3.5, 42.5, as we were talking. There's really not a big trend on the game like that. And I don't know that Cleveland's got the 27. I just find it should be a close game. It's what they've been playing. Pitt, Pitt's Pitt. I mean, they're tough to beat. Roethlisberger will find a way. Cleveland's playing well. Again, with all the injuries, which like here, it's Mayfield and Chubb hurt, where Green Bay, Rodgers is not the one hurt. So that's the big difference. So again, Keenum will keep him in, but what was the score last week? Cleveland, they beat Denver 17-14. So there you go. And I think it was raining, but again, it was a close game with Denver. Pitt's a lot better than Denver. So yeah, as long as Roethlisberger's healthy, I think the 9.5 is a good play. Frisco, 4 over the Bears, 39.5. My buddy Fields is quarterbacking for the Bears. How stupid is this? What is wrong with the coach? You got Andy Dalton healthy, and you're not playing Andy Dalton, and you're playing Fields, who, he keeps looking for Purdue and Illinois. He's got to play Frisco and these other teams. So what? New England beat them by 100 last week. Yeah, 38-3. That's Fields, right? 3 points. Frisco should be the same thing. I would say under, but the over-under is down to 39.5. So here's where the sharps bet. Started at 43 on Sunday. That's when you make the bet, not wait till it goes down to 39.5. I can't take the Bears and Fields and 10 points. I can't take the Niners on the road. The only way to play this game is under 45.5. It's such a low under. But the Bears, good defense, no under. The Bears are an under. Frisco's an even. Garoppolo is as bad as – you just have 2 bad quarterbacks, right? Garoppolo can't hit the brass out of a barn. Fields wants to play the MAC teams. He's looking for Bowling Green this week, not the Niners. So I just think nothing – I just think it's very first 1 to 20. I don't know if we'll get the 2017. I don't think we'll get that. I think it'll be like 17-10. I mean, because the Bears defense will hold Niners in check, and Fields can't do anything. So I just think this will be a low-scoring game. It's the only way you can bet it's under, but it's so low. 45.5 is not too bad. 24-20, you still got a winner. That's about as much as I don't see either team getting in the 20s. Jacksonville, another Z team against Seattle. Can you believe this? 5 Z teams. Seattle laying 3.5, 44.5 to the Jacksonville Trevor Lawrence's. Seattle's going to run it down their throats. They'll put pressure on Lawrence. Lawrence will throw his 3 interceptions. He seems to run around a little bit and scramble and complete some pass. They do get some scoring. Again, I think this has got to be an under game. Jacksonville is a Z, but if Russell Wilson plays, it's a lock, but he's not. So you got to deal with Geno Smith, and you're going to watch Seattle run, and they're going to put pressure on Lawrence. I'd say he's going to get sacked 4 times, 2 interceptions. Average game for him. Yeah, I mean, Seattle's just going to play. This is going to be Navy against Jacksonville, where they'll run the ball 50 times, 17-3, something like that. Very low scoring game here. You can't trust Seattle. I can't take Jacksonville. You can't trust Seattle with Smith. Again, this is an injury. See, this is the difference. Aaron Rodgers is playing, so I respect that. Here, Russell Wilson's out. It's a whole new flavor. So you got to watch who got the injury. And Geno Smith, just terrible. New England, San Diego. Here you got New England, which I've raised to a B team from an even. San Diego, pretty much an even team. I don't know what happened to, they killed the Raiders and they beat KC, and then they play Baltimore and they play terrible game. Couldn't understand that. Locked San Diego getting 9-10 points, and they don't show up. It's just, was it because of their first time on the East Coast? I don't know, but now they're pissed and they're off of a bye. So this is a tricky one here. Over under a 49. The spreads, the trends are on New England because San Diego is a terrible home favorite. They're getting better this year, but they're traditionally they win close at home. They don't blow you out. New England's been playing a lot better. They're a B team, so their defense is playing well, and I like the way Jones is playing. I'm beginning to trust Jones from the Dallas game, and then last week they blew out the Jets for us. my lock. So 11.5 is a big number with New England, I think. Over 43, I think the way Jones is playing. And, and I love Herbert and Keenan Allen and the San Diego offense. So I think this game gets over 43. I can easily see 28-24. That's a 52 score, maybe a 31-24. I don't know. I don't know how New England's defense is going to do here, but I'm sure they're watching what Baltimore did to them, and they'll do the exact same thing Baltimore did to them, which was pressure them. So basically, Herbert had no time. That's why they got killed. And then, these coaches are fucking ridiculous. It's 4th and 3 at your own 30, and they're going for it. Are you insane? I was talking to my buddy, and I said, well, the problem is risk. Let's look at risk reward. You're risking giving the ball up at your own 30. The reward is you got the ball at your own 30. Now what are you going to do? Now you're still at your 30. You're not gaining you didn't get a touchdown. You didn't get a field goal. You got a first down at your own 31, which is absolutely meaningless. There's no reward for the risk you took. But if you don't make it, and in the NFL, there's a lot more you don't make it than you do. Very rarely are you making it when it's 4th and 2 and the team gets pissed off because the team goes, they're going for it against us. So they don't think we have a good defense. And they get highly motivated, and that's why most of these fail. So I don't get the risk. So somebody's got to wake these coaches up to stop going for it on 4th and 2 at their own 30. Absolutely ridiculous. So give New England the coaching advantage. And I don't, and I'm not a Belichick guy. 11.5. I think you got to take the 11.5 where you go over 43. I don't see what other choice. I don't think you can go under. New England's defense is good, but not that good. And San Diego and they're scoring. So yeah, Dallas lit up New England. San Diego should do the same. Yeah, definitely go over 43. I think that's a good play. Washington and Denver. I have no trend on this. Washington, I got as a W team, which means they don't score a lot. Their defense is really weak all of a sudden. Denver's more of an under team. They got a decent defense. They held Case Keenum to 17 last week. And so Denver's laying 3. I saw Judy might play, the receiver from Alabama. He's like returning. The Hamler from Penn State still, he's gone for the year. So they'll get a little bit of strength if they get Judy back. But all these Alabama receivers just run long, go routes. They don't really, cut across the middle. Julio Jones, but not, Ruggs and all these guys. They just send them on a go pattern. And once a game, they hit them for a long pass, and that's about it. They're just useless. Denver laying 3. I don't know how you take Washington in 9. I think you probably go under here. Bridgewater's okay. They're going to run at Washington. Heineke's okay, but their defense is lousy. It's a real hard nothing game. It's who do you bet on? I can't bet on Heineke and Bridgewater. The defense for Washington's terrible. Denver's is okay. So, this is a game I wouldn't bet if you gave me $500 and said, if you lose, I'll give it to you back. I don't think I could pick this game. Maybe under, but Washington's defense is bad. I don't know. I think it'll be close. I think at the end of the day, maybe Washington in 9 just because I like dogs, but I don't know. Let's get to a real game. Tampa Bay, New Orleans. Tampa, an A team. New Orleans, a B team. New Orleans, 13-10 against Seattle. Over 5.5, over under 50.5. Tampa Bay has the trend. With Brady, they're like, I know there's he's 14-1 the last 15, but if you go back, he did lose to New Orleans twice. This is his little team that gets him, but he did win in the playoffs. And again, there is not Drew Brees, and I don't think Taysom Hill, he's questionable. So I don't know if he's playing. You got to love Tom Brady here. Now, they've got injuries. Gronk, Antonio Brown's got a sprained ankle. But they're all listed as questionable, and I guarantee you in this game they're all playing. Maybe not Gronk because of the ribs, but Antonio Brown will be out there. The defense will be out there. David and I just when it's a big game, like they played the Bears, so everybody took the day off, and they still beat them 38-3. Here they know it's a big game. It's at New Orleans. They've got to win the game. They want to win the division. This is a Tom Brady special here. This is a game he goes and he wins. New Orleans, yes, they have a very good defense, but at the end of the day, you'd bet. Here's where you bet Tom Brady. He's getting a half a point. Forget that. It could be 6 to even. It doesn't matter. Tom Brady will win the game. That's what you're betting on here. And absolutely take Tampa even. Don't even fuck with the over-under because I don't know what New Orleans. And then Winston's good for his 3 interceptions. So you got to take Tampa all day. Dallas, Minnesota. Dallas 1.5, 55. I know somebody earlier in the week was questioning taking Dallas. You can see the line's 1.5. Minnesota is an enigma. They play a 14-7 game. They play a Lions 17-16 game where they give up the lead at the end and got to kick a 90-yard field goal to win it. Dallas they go to New England and win. They go to San Diego and win. They've been playing very good. Again, now they were the favorite at New England. They were the dog at San Diego. That was my first lock this year was Dallas over San Diego getting points. They played very well at Tampa. So Dallas is playing extremely well. Prescott is, I think, probable sprained ankle or something. Dallas is just a lot. Minnesota, they're getting their defense back. So again, Dallas I got as an A team, one of the strongest, and Minnesota is an E. So they score 24-25, give up 24-25. They don't have that menacing defense, but at home, they're a home dog. Kirk Cousins. I love Jefferson. I love all the LSU guys. Jefferson and Thielen and Dalvin Cook, I think, is playing. So this is going to be a war. This would normally be tease the dog. Now, my spread was mini -3. That's what it should be. But you got all the Dallas action making it 1.5. So you got a miss spread here, but against us. So if we want Dallas, it's 4.5. I don't know. Minnesota even, or Minnesota and 7.5. I'm not going to start betting against Dallas. Over under a 55. Yeah, for Dallas, but for Minnesota, I don't know what team they play. Against Seattle, I took the game over, and they run the ball 17 plays and 10 minutes off the clock. They were playing Navy football, so I don't know what they're going to do against Dallas. That's the problem. They've been running the ball a lot, creating unders because they'll ball control you and keeping the ball away from Cousins and his interception. So it just becomes a very tough. What do you do with Minnesota? And I can't right now. I don't know what they are. They're 3-3. They need the game. I think it's a close game. I think this is a 24-23 game without a problem. Dallas might need to win it at the end. Minnesota might need to win it at the end, but it's a very close game. I would have, if Dallas was the dog, I would be all over Dallas. I just can't. It's hard to play Minnie as the dog here to go against Dallas. And usually you got to be scared of the defense. That's why I'm a little scared of Minnesota's defense if they play strong. So it's another tough game that, Minnie could easily, just shut them down and run the ball like they did against Seattle. Seattle had them 17-0, and then Minnie wins 30-17, and it's like, what the fuck was that? And that's what the problem with Minnie is. Then they go and they play the Lions and give up 10 points the last minute of the game and got to kick a field goal. So again, their defense looks fairly strong, which offsets Dallas's offense. I guess the question is, will Minnie sack Prescott 4 times? If they get in and sack him, which is what Minnie's been kind of up to, then you got to watch that. But it's just a very tough game. The trends, it's even in this type of game. Normally, I would take Dallas because they're the A team. So they have the better defense and the better offense. They're the better team, but they're the road favorite. So it's a real tough game. I don't know. If you force me, I'd probably go. I don't know. I mean, the game, I could take it under and then it'd go over. I'd say under 61 seems like Minnesota, is going to run the ball and keep it under. And they did hold Russell Wilson to 17. So that's all I can go by is the Seattle game and the Cleveland game, which didn't score, and the Lion game, which didn't score. So I guess I'd play under 61. I think that's a high number because Minnesota doesn't have that offense that you think they do, or they're not using it, or they're running instead of throwing, and Cook's there, so they're going to run it, keep the ball away from Dallas. So I think that's what they're doing. So take that game under, I think. The Giants and KC laying 9.5, 52. Good luck. This should be an automatic KC after a loss lock. They're going to win by 50 points. The Giants stink. They're an E team. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I saw last week. I see Mahomes, they get 3 points, seriously, against that defense. Tennessee does not have a good defense. They're getting better, but they do not have a shutdown defense. The Giants, Barkley's out. One of the receivers is out. Jones is playing. I don't know what I got in the Giants. They beat Carolina 25-3. What is that? So now they got a defense, or Darnell threw 3 interceptions. I mean, there's one trend that really bothers me here is the Giants as a road dog. It's huge. It's like 22-1 is a road dog. Let me get to that. They're always one upset. What do you think that is? KC has been beating the lower teams. What do you see KC doing? Yeah, I'm talking about that now, Derek. Well, the upset that I see is Tennessee, Carolina possibly, Green Bay possibly, New England, Washington, and maybe Minnesota. Those are the upsets that I see. Let me go into my trends quickly. The upsets are based on defense normally. So a good, strong, like the Bears beating Oakland, that was all the defense. That's where you get upsets. You don't get like Houston's not beating the Rams. The Jets is not beating Cincy. Miami's not beating Buffalo. Those teams are not. Carolina possibly good defense or decent. The Bears could beat the 49ers. They're just not that good. But that's where you get it. New England could beat San Diego because they got a better defense. So that's how you look at it. So let's look at let's break down this Kansas City Giant game. So KC scores 27, but here's the problem. They give up 29. I mean, what the hell's going on? Mahomes threes for 311, 118, running the ball. There's no Leclerc, 429, and they only got 8 sacks. Here's the problem with Kansas City. Defensively, they got 8 sacks. Conversely, the team with the most sacks is Chicago with 21, and then you got San Diego. No, you got, who's this? Cleveland with 20. That's the difference, right? Teams that got 20 sacks, they got 8. So let's look at the Giants. And let's see. So they score 20 a game, which is getting there, and they give up 26. So they're getting better. Jones throws for 277, no running because Barkley's out, and they got 16 sacks. So that's the neutralizer in the game. The Giants sacking Mahomes or getting pressure on him. 9.5. Again, it's very difficult. Let's see. So really what you want KC against is the Jets, Atlanta, Miami, Washington, and KC killed Washington. The teams, the bad defenses are what KC is going to have no issue with. So it's Detroit, Jacksonville, Houston, the Jets, Atlanta, Miami, and Washington. As you know, they killed Washington. Philadelphia, they killed Philadelphia too. Here's the Giants, 26 points they give up. So they should light up the Giants to a point. It'll be the sacks. The best defensive teams. Now, here's your upsets, but they're all the 8 teams. Buffalo, Arizona. Now, here's where Denver's only gives up 18. New Orleans, which could give Brady a little bit of problem. Cincinnati, which is why I like him against the Jets. New England only gives up 20. He's going to give San Diego problems. Carolina, I don't know what to do with them. They 21, but it's been against Houston, the Jets, the Giants, Atlanta. It's been against the weak teams. The Rams 21, Green Bay 21, Tampa 21, and Indy 21. And you see Tennessee here is 23, but I think they're lowering. I think it was 27 or 8. Now it's down to 23. So you can see they're getting better. And so that's what you want. Like Kansas City has no defense. This is the problem we're dealing with Kansas City. They can't stop the win. So any good team, but how good are the Giants? Well, they're scoring 20 a game. Let's look at the quarterback play of the Giants. So now I'd say here's the difference. Tom Brady, 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's why he's Tom Brady. And you go to Derek Carr of the Raiders, he's 12-5. So let's go to Mahomes. Here's the problem. 18 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Brady, 21 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's why I look at this. This is very key for quarterbacks. He's throwing 9 picks. This is the problem with Kansas City. Bad defense, and he's got 9 interceptions already. So let's look at the Giants. Daniel Jones, he's throwing for 247 a game. And here's his problem: 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. So he doesn't do anything. Carson Wentz, Jesus Christ, he's got 11 touchdowns and 1 interception. So he's starting to play. Aaron Rodgers, here's Aaron Rodgers. This is why I'm a little afraid tonight. 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And let's look at our guy from Arizona, Kyler Murray. So let's see how good he is. 286 yards a game, 17 touchdowns, and 5 picks. So he doesn't have as much touchdowns as Brady, as Rodgers. He gives up 5 interceptions. It's not bad, but it's not elite. Kirk Cousins is 13-2. So he's not, because they're running the ball all over the place. Now here's Josh Allen at Buffalo, 15-3. Now you know why Buffalo, is good. And let's look at my favorite, Tagliabue. What has he got? Where is he? Miami. Tagliabue in the 4 games, throws for 200 yards a game, 7 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. This is the problem with the guy. He throws for 200 a game, which is a joke. Brady throws for 3.25. Stafford 310, Mahomes 300, Herbert 295. This is why I pick on him, because here he is, 209 is the average. So he's played 4 games, but he's averaged 209, and then 7 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. And we go down here to Winston's really effective, 12 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So that's a lot of the coach, Sean Payton. That's why he's 12-3 and not 12-10. But here's our buddy David Mills, 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, that's what you want to bet against. Justin Fields, 2 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's why you're betting against them. That's the whole point of this whole exercise, is you're looking at, here's 7 and 8. Sam Darnold, 7 touchdowns, 8 picks. This is why the teams don't win, right? They don't. Here's another 7 and 8. Trevor Lawrence, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. See, all the rookies, they throw way too many interceptions. That's why we bet against them. So that's what we do. There's one other thing I wanted to go over, is this year's numbers, just this year. So let's look at the 6-0, 7-0s for this year. So when I look at who is now, we've got enough numbers. We've got 7 numbers, sometimes 6. So if I look at who's hot this year, you got Minnesota at 6-0, Green Bay, Tampa Bay 6-1. This is in a teaser versus the number if you bet on them. Dallas 6-0, Arizona 7-0, Cincinnati 7-0, Cleveland 6-1, New England and Indy 6-1. So this is why you bet teasers, right? Look at all the 86 and 100%. So if you bet Arizona and Dallas and Cincinnati every week, you wouldn't lose because you're betting them in a teaser straight up. I doubt they're like that. Now let's look at against Detroit 6-1. Now here Green Bay is 6-1, so they're playing close games. They're 6-1 on one end, they're 6-1 on the other. So if you just if you take a teaser in the Green Bay game, then you win. Frisco bet against 6-0, Atlanta 6-0, Washington 7-0. They got Denver, Cleveland 6-1. So again, Cleveland's like Green Bay. They play pretty much close games. I think they had one blowout. Jacksonville 6-0, Miami 7-0, Houston 6-1, and Kansas City 6-1. The Jets are 5-1. They've only played 6 games. So there you have it. You've got Kansas City 6-1 against. They're laying 9.5 to the Giants. But here's what scares me about the Giants. If I go back to 2019, the Giants as a road dog are 15-2. This is what scares me on Monday night. That means the Giants, if you bet them as a road dog, they're 15-2. Guess what? You got them as a road dog, 9.5 against Kansas City, who's struggling this year. This is the only thing I have. This is the real problem I have with Kansas City Monday night. And Kansas City is a home favorite in the same period as 12-8. They're 12-8 at home since 2019, and I think that's first year Mahomes. Yeah, 19 and 20, they're in the Super Bowl, and now we're in 21. So they go to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, and they're only 12-8 as a home favorite, going to the Super Bowl twice, and 15-5 against. This is the basic problem I have Monday night, right? I think you're going to stick with my trend, Jets, Texans, Miami this week in the basement. Well, yeah, I mean, you can see the reason. The quarterbacks stink. You bet against them. They're Z teams. So being a Z team means they suck, right? They don't have an offense. They don't score a lot, and they give up. And the real key why you like to bet against them is their defense sucks. So you got Buffalo going to light them up. The Rams are going to light them up. And Cincinnati, all 3 good offensive teams, good quarterbacks. They want to win. They're gonna just jump on them. And then what happens? So when these teams get down, they don't have the offense. I mean, the Jets have Flacco now. Houston's got Mills, and Miami's got Tagliabue. They got 3 lousy quarterbacks that when they get down are going to throw picks, or they're not threatening you. It's not like, oh shit, Tom Brady's on, or Mahomes, he's going to come back, I got to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it here. It's just boom, boom, boom. So I think I'm beginning to like Cincinnati the best. Tennessee is the dog. Buffalo, the Rams I like. New England I think I like. The under in the Bear game. And I am not playing Kansas City. I'm sorry. If I play the game, it's the Giants. But how do you play the Giants here? What's different about it, the other games that Kansas City had their back against the wall, and we bet big on Kansas City, is this team has a fairly good defense, the Giants. And I don't it's one thing when they lose to Buffalo and they get Washington the next week and KC blows them out, or they blew out Philly. I don't know what to do with the Giants. I don't know what to do with Kansas City. Andy Reid's just sitting there like an idiot. Not an Andy Reid fan at all after his days at Philadelphia. So it's what's going on with Mahomes. Is he injured? Is the toe healed? Has he got a concussion? How well is he? They're going to be pissed off. I mean, they got killed. They're embarrassed. You got Mahomes on it, and you only scored 3 points. Believe me, they're embarrassed. The question is, what is going on? it's a big number against the Giants. 7 down to 1, I feel more comfortable with. I'm not sure I want to give more than a field goal here, but again, you're going to get KC's best game. Now, the question is, how good's KC this year? And they keep Buffalo killed them, Tennessee killed them. You've got to pay attention to that. Yes, the Giants are not, but they're not a Z team. This isn't the Jets. They're not playing a Washington, the weak defenses I read off. They're not playing Detroit. They'd love to get Detroit right now. Detroit, the Jets, that's what they need, but they're getting the Giants and they're playing well. They just handed Carolina 25-3. So I don't know what's going on. I'm not calling the Giants to win, but I don't know. I'm going to say 30-23 Kansas City, because I think the Giants are scoring somehow, even without Barkley. And I don't like Jones, but they're doing okay. So, but that's a game that let's just play Cincinnati, the Rams, and New England, and who's our other Tampa Bay? Who's the other bitch? Buffalo, LA, Cincy. Yeah, where's my other Z? Well, I can't play Seattle, but I mean, so you got Buffalo, the Rams, and Cincinnati. I think that's where you're doing. I know we're talking NFL, but like yesterday, I'll add Ohio State and Georgia. Pay you later. Thanks. Well, like I said, I was struggling with Ohio State. It's a very tough game to pick. I still don't know what to do with it. As far as I can see, Penn State's quarterback's playing. So I don't know. Ohio State, yeah, they blow out everybody. But again, Penn State's got a good defense. That's where you have the problems. You see Ohio State blow out Maryland, no defense. Indiana, no defense. Then they get a Penn State, or they get a Wisconsin, teams with defense, or Iowa, and they tend to, they're not putting 50 points on the board. So, yeah, Georgia, absolutely. Georgia's 34-3. That game is under City all day. Definitely an under game. But, yeah, college, yeah. Watch my college. I have so many games. I don't even know how to play them all, but I've already played like 10 teasers and two. I got four teams, 2 locks. The teams are all in double teasers, and I just love them. And then I'm looking. I might tease one with Cincinnati or Buffalo. I'm debating about that, but see, these numbers aren't too bad. Buffalo, I can lay 7. Rams, I can lay 8.5. I'm at least under 10, right, with Buffalo and the Rams. The Rams had their close call last week, and they only won by 9. Do not look for the Rams. This will not be a close call. And I know they killed the Giants a couple weeks ago. They buried them, but that's when everybody was injured on the Giants. But look for the Rams here too. This game shouldn't be close. The Cincinnati game, the Ram game, the Buffalo should be blowouts. Tennessee, New England should be strong dog plays, close games. And then Tampa, New Orleans should be a very entertaining game. Brady wins it, maybe by a touchdown or so, but you can't bet against Brady here. What else? Anything else? All right, everybody. So I guess that's the pros for this week. I don't know if I'll have a lock. Maybe I will. Nothing really sticks out, but when I teach you guys, I then start seeing it a little clearer, getting more in depth. And I was busy with college, so this is really my second look at it. I put my trends in, and then now I look for injuries, and now I'm really studying it. So those are my picks, and I can always find 5-6 pro games. Not a problem. Like I said, I'll be traveling this weekend, so I don't know if I'll be able to do the weekend shows. I really don't think so. Maybe Sunday, but I don't know. I'll try, but I can't. I'll be traveling, so I don't know if I can. I'm driving, so maybe I can, but I'm not sure. Anyway, that's this week's agenda, and we've got the collagen, and I'll be posting the pros. Like tonight, I don't know, probably an over, but I don't really love it. I love Green Bay if they didn't have all the injuries, so now it's hard to swing away from it. But yeah, Arizona, they'll be tough to beat. There's no question about that. But they're playing a good Green Bay team, so it makes it really hard to just take Arizona as if they're playing the Jets or Miami or somebody like that. So we'll see what happens, but it'll be entertaining with Rodgers. He'll find a way to score, but I don't know if it'll be enough. All right, everybody. I guess that's it. Any other questions, comments? Please let me know. That's what I'm here for. And good luck with everything. Again, www.teaserking.com. Come get the locks, if nothing else, or buy the picks or buy the month. Good deal on that. Ohio State money line for sure. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State with money line should win, but what's your money line's going to be? You're going to be 2,500 to win 100. Play the fucking Georgia under game. Then that's what, even money, or tease it, or do a 3-team teaser, and you make a lot more, and that's probably a safer bet. Georgia under. Play a Georgia under, Clemson under teaser or something. Or play Cincy, the Rams, and Buffalo. But Ohio State, yeah, I mean, I love Ohio State too. And usually they beat Penn State at home. So, I mean, they're Ohio State will win for sure. But I think it might be a little closer. Again, depending on Penn State and the quarterback playing. But I'm sure everybody on Penn State's playing if they can walk. Same thing with Ohio State. This is a big game, but so this will be interesting. The new quarterback on Ohio State. This is his first, the first big game. Oregon, he lost, so keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State, they're gonna win, but I don't know. 18 is a big number. I would not like laying 18 here. See, you got to take your spot. When they play Michigan, lay 18. Michigan's so psyched out by Ohio State, they can't handle them, but that's it. I was saying with other games we mentioned, yeah. Yeah, Derek, I mean, that's fine. But yeah, Ohio State, I mean, they should be they should win the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 10-point win. Penn State's got a lot. They went to Iowa, remember, and had them beat if the quarterback doesn't get hurt. And Penn State won at Wisconsin. So keep that in mind. They played Iowa very tough. So if they can move on that Iowa defense, they will move on Ohio State. This game will be a good game, I think. I don't think you'll see 42-3 in this game. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But it should be a good weekend. Again, the pros, there's too many Z teams. I can't believe I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 fucking Z teams in the NFL. What's going on? So many bad quarterbacks. So many, they don't know how to draft a quarterback, and then they just shove them in. And then they wonder why they all fail. Well, because they're not very good to start with. They're not watching them in college. You draft a Nevada kid, you draft a Fresno State kid, you draft a Coastal Carolina kid. They're good. They're gonna get you that you can almost throw in after. Well, let them watch 6 games, but I don't know what you're looking at in Fields that makes you think he's any good. Again, it's all that system. And the same with Alabama. It's the system. You can't say, oh, he lights it up for 50 he's 50 touchdowns and 3 picks. Yeah, so did the other kid from Ohio State. And what's he doing? Franklin needs to resign. Terrible game planning last week. How did they lose to Illinois? I don't know. But, sometimes they're looking ahead at Ohio State. I think they need to get rid of John Harbaugh at Baltimore. I think he's lost his mind. 4th and 5 at his own 30, and he goes for it, or it's 4th and 7, and they're only down 10 points with plenty of time left. What is he thinking? And he's playing, and he keeps playing. He keeps playing Lamar Jackson. He's out of his mind. He's the one that should be fired. But anyway, yeah, that's what I see here. I don't know. It should be a good game. I'm looking forward to Michigan State. I think that game, I took the dog in that game. I think that's a 27-24 game. And Michigan State can win that game easily. You want a money line there, you can money line Michigan State. I know you don't get much because it's a 4-point spread, but that's a team that can get you the win. Like I would not money line Michigan thinking, oh, they'll just win. That's no chance here. This is Michigan State. This game's dead even. Take the dog all day. See, that's the thing. And then somebody asked me about Dallas, Minnesota. I'm like, there's 100 good games in college to bet, or take Cincinnati, the Rams, and Buffalo. What are you messing around with Dallas and Minnesota for? This is not the week to play Dallas and Minnesota. Cincinnati, the Rams. This is the week to play like the Rams and Buffalo. Buffalo off a loss, the Rams. Again, what's the reason for the bet? I don't see a reason to bet Dallas, Minnesota. What's the reason to bet Dallas? They're a good team. Minnesota's got a good defense. Cousins not bad. They got good receivers. If they're down, they can come back. Dallas's defense is okay. It's not top flight. So what are you so excited about taking Dallas? Like Minnesota is terrible. The Lions, yeah. If this was at Detroit laying 1.5, I'd be all over it. John Harbaugh kept going for on 4th and 30 yards. Yeah, I don't. But you got Lamar Jackson. He's not a good quarterback. If he was going to run with them, I could see where he might get 30 yards, or he goes back and scrambles for 30 yards. See, that's how you get 30. Mahomes did that. I remember in a playoff game, he goes back, everybody runs deep, nobody's spying him, and he goes and he picks up 20, 30 yards. That's the only way you're going to get big yardage on that. But Jackson can't because they're spying him. There's a spy on him every play. So if it's 4th and 30 and you're thinking, I don't know, Jackson will fade back and then he'll run. There's a safety or a linebacker right on him, and they're watching for him to run. So he's not effective. Baltimore's off this week, so that's fine. But it's just stick with the cream, stick with your, just bet against the Z's. That's really the key to it here is bet against the Z's. Find the Z's, bet against them. That's how you make money. That's how I made money my whole life betting football, is finding the weak team, finding the strong team, and staying away from the only way I'd play the Dallas, Minnesota type of games is to tease the dog, like I am in Tennessee, Indy. Then you tease the dog. You don't fuck with the favorite. Dallas Mini is a dead even game as far as I can see. And if I made a bet, it would be Mini plus 7.5. And if Mini goes favorite, then I would bet Dallas. But right now, to bet Dallas as a favorite in Mini makes absolutely no sense. High risk. It's sort of like the 4th and 5 I talked about earlier, where they got the ball at their own 30. And even if they make it, now you got the ball at your own 35. Now what are you going to do with it? And it's the same thing here. The risk and reward, the risk is so high in the Dallas mini game. If you take Dallas, it's not worth the reward versus taking Cincinnati over the Jets. Your risk of Cincinnati not winning is very, very slim. What, Flacco's going to light it up? I mean, come on. So, I mean, that's what you have. So that's what you're looking for. Pitt, Cleveland, there's a little more risk there. Maybe the under and the Niners. Again, the Niners and the Bears. You can't. How are you going to take the Bears with Fields? And how can you trust the Niners with Garoppolo? So you can't. The risk is huge, and you don't know what the reward is. So that's what I'm saying. Washington, Denver's like that. So there's a lot of teams that suck. that the risk on betting them is so strong that you don't know that you're going to win them. And that's what you're looking for here is risk reward. So the risk, the risk of LA losing to Houston is zero. This is, are they going to win by more than 8.5 or not? And then your reward is, well, I bet against the Z team. I have a pretty good chance of winning that, especially in a teaser. So that's my point. Like Cincinnati, they're 7-0 in a teaser this year. There you go. So you got a team that's 7-0 against the Jets. Jets are weak. So it's a perfect one for this year. And it's almost my 4 or 5 year trends are harder to come by because of all the switching going on between coaches and quarterbacks. Like now it's Cincinnati's Joe Burrow. Well, that's last year and this year. So I can basically get a 2-year trend. So as he plays more next year, I'll have a 3-year trend on Burrow. Then it makes more sense to play Cincinnati. The Jets keep changing quarterbacks and all these other Carolina, new quarterback, new coach. It just makes it extremely difficult to look at a 3-year-old trend that it doesn't make sense. So, I mean, anyway, that's what you're looking for. You're just trying to get the trend to get the risk out of it. Like I said, the Giants are 18-2 in a teaser as a road dog. That's 3-4 years. So you're going, okay, I can, now I can respect that trend. The question is, can you take the Giants in 15 and a 90% trend where they're a great road dog? And that's really the thing. But the Giants are going to score in this game. It's not like Kansas City's got that defense. They don't have a defense. So when the Giants go and answer, don't be surprised when the Giants score 20 points too. So that's what you have to look at. It's hard to bet these teams with no defense, and then it's an over. But look what happened last week. Anyway, so those are my pros. You've got my college. I love my college. I've been so hot on my college. 2 weeks ago, I ran the table. I think I had one loser. Last week, the loser was Cincinnati. And I'm picking 14, 15, 16 games, and I'm getting one loser, 2 losers. This week should be the same. I mean, I'm so zeroed in on college, it's ridiculous. The pros have got me really like, what the fuck is this? But college is where I'm really zoomed. Like, the Michigan State dog or what Iowa's a dog and Nevada over Vegas. So all those are like, you can just see they make perfect sense. Where in the pros is much harder. Too many Washington-Denver games that you have no idea on. So I always think, why am I betting it? Always think of what's the score. And your goal is to increase your bankroll. That's why you bet, to increase your bankroll. That's it. And then as the bankroll goes up, the betting goes up. The betting goes up, the more you win. That's basically it. All righty, my friends and family, professor's going to go have some dinner now. Let me know if you have any questions. Again, www.teaserking.com. Come buy the locks, buy the college, buy the pro, buy the week, buy the month. You've got all my thoughts on the games. It's just which ones am I buying. The key is how I bet the teams and how many units. I'm going to bet Cincinnati. Is that going to be my lock? Is that a strong bet? Do I have them in 2 teasers? How do you bet teasers? All that stuff's what you don't get here. Although I try to teach it to you, it's a little bit, these are my thoughts. But when you come to the site, then that's when you come, when you buy the picks, then you can see my strategy in place. You just go to the history, you can see it too. But anyway, come to the site, www.teaserking.com. You can email me from there if you have any questions. But I like this chat here, so we can do a little bit more one-on-one, or you can ask and I can give you direct answers. Okay, everybody, have a great weekend. Good luck tonight, and thank you for watching.